Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Burning Crusade. Today we are going to be doing Heroic, one of the harder heroics to do in this expansion, Shattered Halls. It's a pretty good heroic to do as far as badges go. I think there are 5 bosses total. But yeah, before the release of Magister's Terrace, I'm pretty sure this was the single hardest heroic to do. And you will see why once we get going. Our group is just formed, so we should be getting going here pretty quick. I am playing on a private server, a Burning Crusade private server, obviously. On this server, as you may have noticed, cross-faction grouping is a thing. I imagine it was implemented in the early stages of the server to alleviate any issues preventing people from finding and filling groups. Where the population of the server is at right now currently, which is about 5 or actually closer to 6 or 7 years after the server launch, I wouldn't say that it's still a prevalent issue, but that's up for debate, and regardless, it's still a thing that is in effect, so I don't mind. I've got a pretty open mind as far as race and ethnicity. I'm pretty tolerant of all, so I really don't mind having blood elves and orcs and undead in my group with me, even though they are fairly stinky. So for our group, we've got a paladin tank, which is by far the best tank to have in this dungeon, although it seems that this one is undergeared to say the least. So no meta socket on the helmet, some green gear, strength wrists, so we'll have to see how this ooh, ouch. We'll have to see how this guy fares. Wow, we have 3 paladins in this group. That's incredible. No Wind Fury, which, you know, is going to hurt me and hurt this rat paladin, but that's okay. We both seem to be geared enough that having Wind Fury is really just icing on the cake. So in addition to the rat paladin, the paladin tank, myself, a fury warrior, we do have a holy paladin who is very overgeared. Hopefully that can help carry our paladin tank, but we'll see. And then we do have a mage, which is good, because crowd control is something that you don't want to not have in this dungeon. It's been so long since I played this character, I get used to my key bindings again. Looks like we're having a little bit of a visual bug. It does happen occasionally. One of the many perks of being on a private server is that occasionally you get random visual bugs. You zone into a dungeon and you can't see one of your party members. All their threat is there, their ghost essentially is there, their footprint, but you can't actually see them. important for me to watch how much threat I'm pulling, especially on these AoE pulls. Considering our tank, he's not going to be able to match me in the slightest. Okay, what is my intercept? Okay. Excuse me.
I need to get
Having 3 paladins is great because I get all the buffs. Salvation Might and Kings. They fucked Hala aggro again. No, you just need spell power and not strength. This isn't Wrath of the Lich King after all. How much spell power do you have? Yes, I do agree with this mage. He is very undergeared. Yeah, I'm standing in the fire. So what? Says he's got 310 bonus spell damage, which isn't terrible. I imagine most of that comes from his weapon. No, about half. Okay, here we are. As we can see, there's a 5 mob pull. So I'm just gonna refrain from using Whirlwind if I can. Nope, never mind, because they're all dying really quickly. Just a little bit about myself. This is my main on this server. The best geared character I have. I have the most experience raiding with this character. Probably still my favorite character to play, although my my survival hunter comes pretty close. Been playing on this server about 4 to 5 years, I want to say, maybe more. I have about 7 or 8 level 70s, but the Burning Crusade is my favorite expansion. I started playing World of Warcraft, I want to say 2008. Probably about 6 months to a year before Wrath of the Lich King came out. So I did play while Burning Crusade was still a live expansion, but I never hit the level cap. I think I was about level 65 or so when Wrath of the Lich King did come out. So I never got to really experience this expansion in its entirety. I did go back later to do the raids, just, you know, for gold or gear or whatever at, I think, level 80 I started doing that, but the raids are definitely my favorite visually and really just conceptually. Probably in any World of Warcraft expansion. But yeah, Burning Crusade, definitely definitely my favorite expansion. So when I had the discovered private servers and I was turned on to them, and I found this one, it was a dream come true, really, getting to come back and play World of Warcraft as I remember it. Because whether you like the new modern expansions or not, it's a completely different game. And I'm not saying necessarily that one is better than the other, but this is the one that I prefer.
My mana is nearly gone.
Good to know. Your mana's not nearly gone. Oh, can I survive? Can I survive? Let's get some AoE damage going in here. Rip its hair shit out. Alright, we definitely need to wait for our healer to get mana now. Excuse me again. Get myself a sip of water. I think our paladin healer's getting a little salty about getting the viper sting from these hunters, which I definitely understand if your tank keeps aggroing and aggroing and aggroing, keep pulling, while you keep getting your mana drained every fight. Yeah, I really hope this paladin isn't trying to argue the point that he's good enough gear to be I mean, he's good enough gear for this, well enough gear for this, but yeah, he really needs to understand that it's I'm sure taking some power to heal him.
I don't have a target.
Yeah, I should hope that he's not stacking defense past his cap. Paladins, really your only option is to do we have the key, or are we going to be taking the sewer? The gauntlet. Sewer, it looks like. The execution timer. There is a sort of timed mode to this dungeon where after you kill the boss, the first boss, you have, I think, 55 minutes to kill all the bosses and save, like, save Kargath Bladefist's prisoners, which rewards you with an extra badge. Trying to kind of argue with this paladin about the fact that he is stacking defense above his cap, which is not beneficial as a paladin. You see the stack spell damage or stamina or avoidance, which I'm not sure. Block is obviously the best form of avoidance for a paladin, but I don't think you can gem for that. Oozes and little green globs of filth will respawn at a very fast rate, so we need to get up and out of this room as quickly as possible. Hence the gauntlet nature of this room. As you can see, the green little globule things have already started to respawn. There's too much going on. I'm done talking to this paladin. I have enough buff food, so I think I'm going to use some. Oh, this winter weather. So lovely. I say that, but I live in Arizona. So it's probably about 60 degrees outside right now. Meanwhile, there are other parts of the country that are buried in snow and ice. Me, it sprinkled a little bit last night.
You can have that one. I no longer need him.
Here we have arrived at the first boss, who we have to kill these sacrificial orcs, and then he will spawn. Here he is. Not too complicated. All you have to really do is pay attention to make sure you're not standing in the red circle of death. Where are my cooldowns? There's one. So I'll just use that right now. Make sure I'm not standing in that red circle of death. Do I even... Oh no. I'm such a noob. Not using my rampage. Great Helm of the Unbreakable. I think I have a much better helmet for my tank set. War Helm of the Bold. Yes, it is better, but... I am an enchanter, so I'm going to be greeting everything for enchanting purposes. This guy, I swear. This guy, I swear to God. Well, I hope we can make it through this whole instance. Here we go, is our next boss. This is basically just a bonus boss. Simple tank and spank fight. This boss is not in the normal mode of the dungeon. It's only in heroic. He really doesn't do anything. But I could be wrong, I've been wrong before. I guess I'll just use my throwing weapon. So here's this execution timer. We have 52 minutes to complete the dungeon. Oh, that's nice. Our paladin healer, who was complaining about mana earlier in the dungeon, decided to face pull the boss while the mage was getting mana. How nice. Okay. Is this... Yep. We have arrived at the more difficult area of the dungeon. This room is pretty intense. If you pull it correctly and carefully, you can get through it with as little struggle as possible, but unfortunately if you slip up, you could end up with a situation where you've got 6 or 7 angry orcs attacking you. And so having a paladin tank really, really helps. But yeah, when your DPS are as overgeared as this DPS is, it is always a risk with some deaths due to over-aggro. But we do have a mage for crowd control if we need it. And it actually seems like this paladin tank is pretty proficient in the correct way to pull these safely. I would attack that skull, but I would probably aggro one of the mobs behind it. So instead, what I'm going to do is sit here and just AoE the piss out of everything. I'm about to use Intimidating Shout if we don't get this under control. As you probably saw, our tank got pretty low during those fights. Not enough defense. Wow, all things considered, we are actually breezing through this dungeon. Of course, as I say that, our tank is taking massive amounts of damage. Oh, yeah, let's use Intimidating Shout, and then see if we can kill any of these off before we die. Our paladin healer is still alive, so if we can pull aggro off of her... Actually, our tank is still alive. I was looking at the wrong paladin, I guess. Man, what the hell do you think that kiting them is doing? I do want to look and see what our healer did last fight. Holy crap, 1600 heals per second. That's intense. That's what, if a flash of light is a 1.5 cast, and a holy light cast is about a 1.5 cast after your first holy light, because of this certain talent right here. Where is it? Yep. Gives your holy light spell 100% cast time to reduce, or 100% chance to reduce the cast time of your next holy light spell by half a second. Last 15 seconds. So at 1700 heals per second. Now that's an average of about 3,000. Oh, that scared me. Per flash of light, which is a pretty big flash of light. Or holy light, but keeping that up for a long time is not easy to do. Definitely carried by this paladin healer. I've had a little bit to drink today, can you tell? I think I'm about to have a little bit more. Alright, gotta watch out for the rogues in this next hallway. They spawn right about here. Right when you get up to the point where you can pull this pack. Yep, there's one. I think there's two. Pour myself another drink real quick. Oops, I broke the sheet. Really need to get better at put on my Battle Shout and Rampage. I haven't played my warrior in a very long time. Okay, we have now arrived at the third boss, Warbringer Omrog. This boss can be a little bit tricky. The best way to do this as a paladin tank is to stack up Seal of Vengeance on the boss, but save your judgment, because what this boss will do is it will randomly reset aggro, drop all aggro on the tank, and just pick a new target. As a tank, your taunt has a risk of being resisted, considering that it is technically a spell. So it is important to have those stacks of Seal of Vengeance up, so that when he does inevitably reset, you have a very large threat ability that you can use on the boss to get your threat back. So there he goes. He resets aggro to our healer, and as you can tell, our tank is having some trouble picking it back up. Almost think I should get in defensive stance and just taunt it. Can you please stop running? Okay, you know what? Alright, I'm gonna taunt this. Oh no, that didn't help at all. Yep, taunt on me. So.
He's almost dead.
This one die easy.
I do all the hard work. You kill him next.
This one die easy.
Not to hit him, I assume he means. Yeah, that very well might be true. But when your aggro goes instantly to a healer, well, you can't really blame the healer because the healer's not hitting the boss. That's just your lack of threat on the boss. So get threat on the boss, and don't blame the DPS for your lack of threat. Like I said, the boss completely drops aggro on its main target. I understand that, but you need to be prepared as a tank to pick that back up. And I clearly wasn't doing a devastating amount of damage. No one was, really. I do have a full tank set in my bag, but I never use it. I leveled up almost entirely as a tank. It wasn't until I was about 66 or 67 that I decided to switch Fury. And then I just accumulated all of this tank gear that I never use, because I just never got enough practice to get good at it. So here it sits in my bags. But I do have pretty decent gear. I also have my Jinrock, the Great Apocalypse, for an alternate arms spec, which I, again, never use either, but you never know what a raiding guild or a group might want. Why do I have a mote of air? Motes of air on my action bar. Probably from farming. But yeah, this boss, it's not that bad. Everybody just kind of has to be on the same page and be mindful of everything that's going on. The next boss is also pretty difficult. The final boss Karkath Blade Fist. But we'll get there. This is one of the cooler bows. I at least like it. It kind of does look a little cheesy and like a toy or something, but I do like the way that looks. I tried to get that for a while on my hunter, but it didn't take long to find something much better. And of course, there is the Blade Fist from Karkath himself, which it looks like if you stand still with it, it just slices right through your leg. I can't see how that's practical. Figurine of the Colossus, a very good Paladin tank trinket. Gonna get my buffs back up. Let's take a deeper look at this guy's gear and just look. Okay, now that's not a terrible trinket. That is an awful, awful, awful trinket. I pray that he gets the, I pray that he gets the Figurine of the Colossus from this group, from this dungeon. Again, a horrible ring. Pretty good boots. Sethic, I think, drops those. Those are some decent legs. Very good belt. Good gloves from Karazhan.
If you're nice,
Very good
we let
helmet.
you live.
Okay, let's try to help this guy out even a little bit more and not over aggro ourselves. Make sure we get Rampage going. Oh, he's red.
You not like this one.
Hey, you numbskull!
We kill his friend.
Alright, drop my trinket. Let's burn this guy down. That was much better.
You not like this one. We kill his friend.
Let's back off a little bit. Our tank is about to die. Oh my god, he's just getting crushed.
I'm not done yet, idiot!
He's taking massive chunks out of his health.
So, you're safe.
Oh, look at that.
Yo,
Oh, and look, I won it. Of course, I will not be using it, even though it is in my opinion, a gorgeous bow. Love it. It's getting close to bedtime for me. Good thing I'm almost done with this. Some more AoE power going on here. Oh, unless I die. Oh, thank you. That's a massive heal. Make sure this guy's still. Alright, and here we are. We have arrived at War Chief Kargath Bladefist. The War Chief of the, what, Shattered Hand clan? Something like that? Burning, no, not Burning Blade. Yeah, I can't exactly remember what the best way is to do this boss. I know that he does spawn ads periodically that run up through this. Up through this entrance and come to help him. And I do know that he does a sort of blade dance thing where he dances around the room and hits a bunch of people on his way, which does some serious damage. Yeah, if I remember, the way you do this is you all stack up in one corner. But, we'll see how this goes. He does aggro as soon as you cross this threshold, basically, so we need to all go in basically at the same time.
I'll carve the meat from your bones.
You can try. Now, since I'm being shy, I'm gonna blow all my cooldowns right now. So there it is, there's his dance. I like to watch though to see who takes the most damage from that. It doesn't look like we all got hit with anything that big, so I think we did it right. Should be pretty easy from here. We got a paladin tank, so the add-ons aren't really the answer. So execute up, not bad. I'm just gonna greet on everything. Pass on the trinket, grats. Oh, what a shitty thing to do. Good thing he won. Oh, and how about that? I still had the... And here we go, the Executioner. We did make it in time, so we get an extra badge. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on here? He must not like me. Okay, and that concludes today's run of Shattered Halls Heroic. Not bad, not bad. Cleared it in pretty good time. Only one wipe, which is to be expected. So, yep, I thank you all for watching, and I suppose I will see you next time.